Hi guys, it has been a little bit now since I last did a vinyl update. Between house costs and just life in general, I've been sort of like not spending as much on vinyl as I have been doing in the past, but because it's been about 4 months since my last one, I've accumulated a fair few records since the last update. So yeah, I want to just show you what I've been getting, talk to you a little bit about the records that I've got, and yeah, just show the goods. So without wasting anybody else's time, mine or yours, let's get straight into things. First up, we have got Die Happy by Amray. Now, I reviewed this album, came out this year, reviewed it a couple months ago, I think it was, and honestly, I love this record. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Full disclosure, the band did send me this after I made the review. They just reached out to me and said, hey, do you want a copy of the album? And I was like, okay, that's cool. Not many people do that, so yeah, let's go. It comes in this really nice sort of like slightly marbly effect purple. Gorgeous looking record, absolutely love it. I will say, I was really positive with the album when I reviewed it, and I remain very positive on this record. If anything, it's growing on me. It's really building on me, this one. Die Happy, as I say, by Amray. It is an album that I enjoyed on first listen, I enjoyed during the review process, but the more I listen to it, the more I realise that this does have some of the bangers of the year on it, and the more I've been appreciating this record. So if you've not had the chance to listen to this one yet, I would thoroughly recommend you go and check it out. And once again, thank you so much to the band for sending me a copy of this. I'm like, oh my god, I feel like a celebrity or something. I'm like, ooh, look at me. Ooh, smoothing. Love it. Thank you again, guys. Right, following up from that, we've got something a little bit older, of course. I'm not just about contemporary releases after all. We've got The Snow Goose by Camel, or music inspired by the Snow Goose, but, you know, that was due to legal nonsense with the book or whatever. One of my favourites from the era, from the sort of mid-70s, I think it was 76, 75? Something like that. 1970-something, whatever. And now, I'm normally not a huge one on instrumental albums, but Camel I will make an exception for. Some of their stuff is absolutely amazing. I like Mirage and the Snow Goose, obviously, are absolutely incredible. Moon Sorrow as well, amazing record. Something about their particular brand of instrumental prog really ticks a button for me, and I absolutely 100% love this. Vibe to this album earlier today, just, masterpiece from start to finish. Like, the 40 odd minutes just goes by so quickly. I love it. Love it. If you've not listened to Camel before, great entry point, really strong record. Thoroughly recommend checking this one out. I am once again asking you all to listen to Creeper. I love this album. Sanguivore is an incredible record. I love the pressing of this as well. You can't really see it very well on the camera, but the central little scary vampire lady here, she's embossed, so she's slightly raised. I don't know, maybe if the lighting can get to it, maybe. Oh yeah, you can kind of sort of see it like there. Yeah, she's embossed, which is kind of cool. Really very cool. The album itself as well is really cool looking pressing as well. It's got this sort of like splattery, purpley kind of thing. Looks very cool. Love it. Yeah, I don't know how much more I can really say about this album that I've not already said in the course of my time on this channel. It's kind of like if you like Ghost, okay, you will love Creeper. It's kind of like replace the Satanism with vampirism, and that's kind of what you get, and it's kind of that sort of wheelhouse, kind of meatloafy in a lot of places as well. Really great album. One of my like last minute discoveries last year. Absolutely love it. Had to pick it up on physical format, and I got a really good price for this one as well. I think I got it for like 20 quid or something like that, so very pleased with that. Next one's a bit of a double whammy, and as you all know, I have a bit of a weakness for albums with circles on the covers, so one band, two records, two circles. It's Cult of Luna, baby, with A Dawn to Fear and Vertical. But this version of Vertical is a slightly special version. This is the version from Record Store Day from a few years back. I'm not sure how many years back it is, but it contains not only the full Vertical album, it also contains the EP Vertical 2, which is like an additional 3 tracks, like 30 odd minutes I think, or something like that, of additional music. This one happens to come on a quite nice see-through vinyl. Very cool. Very good album, one of their best. Not my favourite, but that is the other one that I happen to have in my hands. As soon as I can get this stupid thing back in. Yeah, A Dawn to Fear is definitely my favourite album by Cult of Luna. It's a crushing, unbelievable, pounding 80 minutes of music, and it's so good. if you're into this kind of oppressive, dank, dirgy post-metal, then it really is hard to think of much better than this. This also comes on a particularly nice looking pressing, this sort of smoky kind of, I don't know what you would call it, like a black and white smoky transparent effect. Really, really nice. Picked that up in Manchester just about a week ago, because again, got a really good price on it. Absolutely delighted when I saw it for sale. I was like, oh my god, that's a brand new copy of one of my favourite records ever. I'm having that, yes. So, Cult of Luna's A Dawn to Fear. If you're into this sort of music, really, really do want to check this one out. It's absolutely fantastic. Carrying on with some more contemporary releases. Again, I've already reviewed this one, but it is Dune's Void Kind. And once again, it's another one of these really big, crushing, heavy, rah metal kind of things, you know. I love this record. Again, it's been growing on me enormously since I first started listening to it. And this is, once again, another really nice pressing. Coming on this kind of, I don't know what you want to call that. It's kind of like a marbled crimson, I suppose, or something like that. Kind of looks, it's cool. I like it. It's a very, very cool pressing. But again, really, really getting more into this one the more and more I listen to it. It's one of those albums where I loved it on first listen. I thought it was really, really good on first listen. Very, very positive review of it, of course, as well. I still feel very positively about the album, but like with so many of these kind of albums, this sort of music, it really does appreciate and value the more you listen to it. And Void Kind is no exception to this. This is still kicking my ass on a daily basis. I still keep listening to it. I still love it. And wonderful, wonderful record. Right, next up we have got Meliora by Ghost. My favourite Ghost album by a country mile. I adore this. This is so good. It has so many of their biggest hits on it, and it's just so much fun. It's such a fun album. Another really, really cool pressing as well. Like a sort of a smoky, coppery, orangey kind of thing. I'm not a colour theorist, guys. I talk about music, not colour. But I love this. It's a very, very good album. It's got so many of their biggest songs on it, and there's a reason why most people do consider this to be their best album. If you've never listened to Ghost before, then I don't know where you've been living, possibly under a rock or something like that, but if you're looking for an entry point, Meliora, incredible, love this album, get on it. Now this next band, I, in truth, nearly included them on my Just Don't Get It video, but I like enough of their work that I can say that I do get them, you know. It is Jethro Tull with A Passion Play, the other two-sider to Thick as a Brick, as you know. Everybody knows Thick as a Brick. It's the whole two-sided record, blah, 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 blah. But this one, this is the one I wasn't that familiar with this one, I'll be honest with you. I've listened to it a couple of times before I picked this one up on physical format, and it's great. It is really, really, really good, but I don't feel as familiar with it as I do with the likes of some of the rest of their discography. But it is one of those albums within their discog which I do enjoy a lot. And it really is like, it helps me to push it towards the I do get this band rather than I don't get this band, even though I don't hugely care for their sort of like 80s and onwards output. I think it's kind of bad in some places, you know, like, ugh. And I really didn't like the last two records that they put out. You know, The Zealot Gene was one of the first records I actually reviewed on the channel, and didn't like it. Didn't like it. And I didn't even bother reviewing Rock Flute because, again, I didn't like it. So, I don't know, like, late Tull is not my thing, but the run of albums they had in the 70s, incredible. Great, great stuff. And A Passion Play is definitely up there with some of the best albums in progressive rock. It's fantastic. Give it a spin if you haven't done already. Right, keeping things going with modern releases, we've got Kyros's Mannequin. Oh, yes. Big, big fan of this record. Again, just like with some of the other ones earlier in this list, this one keeps on growing on me. It's something like I cannot put down. My partner loves this record as much as I do. It's just got real great vibes to it, and it's really bright orange, the LP. Look at that. It's so cool. I love the colour of it. It's just, ooh, pretty. Yeah, orange is my favourite colour, so slight, perhaps, potential bias to this one, which I can't now get back into its sleeve. What fun. Love that. We'll get there eventually, maybe, theoretically. Jeez, tell you what, it's not going anywhere, is it? It's really in there. An absolutely fantastic record, really blending a great mix of like progressive rock and electronica into one beautiful, beautiful combination with some of the coolest vocals and best guitar and sort of like electronica runs I've heard all year. likely to be riding very high in the top 10 or top 20. Don't know how many I'm going to do yet. We'll decide closer to the time. But yeah, great album. Not likely to be going anywhere out of my rotation anytime soon. Check it out if you haven't done already. Alright, next up, it is another new one. It's the Lemon Twigs with A Dream Is All We Know. Now, a few of my contemporaries have been talking about this. Matt O'Leary got me into the Lemon Twigs like last year with Everything Harmony. Loved that record, so when I saw there was a new one coming out already this year, I was pretty hyped. I was pretty hyped, and it's not disappointed at all. This one happens to come on the sort of quote-unquote ice cream variant, which is like this sort of white vinyl with a sort of, I don't know why it's called ice cream, because like vanilla ice cream is white. I have no idea. I was tempted to do a full review of this one. I might still do a full review of this one. I might get around to it in my sort of like end of the month roundup. But spoilers, it's incredible. It's absolutely fantastic. It's such a joy to listen to. It's like the Beach Boys meets the Beatles on the best days of their lives. It's so good. It's so much fun. Maybe a little tiny bit derivative of its influences insofar as that sometimes you just think to yourself, I might just like listening to a Lost Beatles song, or I might listen to a Lost Beach Boys song. So your mileage might vary in that respect. But personally, one of the best albums of the summer. It's just joy from start to finish. There's not a single duff track on it. It's just so much fun. And I think I would probably call this one of my most played records of recent times. It's just so addictive and I can't put it down. Except, of course, ironically, I have had to just put it down in order to pick up the next record, but I'm not talking literally. Give me a break. God. Okay, next up, we've got one of my most formative records of my teenage years. It's Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. Yes, I love me a little bit of Hybrid Theory. I was listening to this at work the other day, and it had been a long time since I last heard this album. It must have been like maybe 10 years, I think, since I last listened to this. But it hasn't aged a day. It's so good. It's so good. It brought back so many memories of when I was a teenager. And like a lot of things that I listened to back then, like I went through a phase of nu metal. Okay, I was like, nu metal is the thing. I was like, Korn this and Papa Roach that, Linkin Park the other, and like Evanescence. But I just don't think any of them aged quite so well as Linkin Park did, with the possible exception of maybe Deftones, who actually kicked ass and still do kick ass, but you know. But yeah, Hybrid Theory, huge album for me, huge album for metal, huge album for music. This really did make a massive hit on the scene, and we can criticise nu metal as much as we want, and honestly, part of me thinks we should criticise nu metal, because a lot of it just hasn't aged very well, but we can dunk on it hard, we can throw it in the trash now, but the simple fact of the matter is, without nu metal, I don't think metal as it exists now would have any fan base or relevance at all. Nu metal saved the genre. We may not want to admit it, but I think it's true. I think it really did. And Hybrid Theory is an absolute bona fide classic, and I was only just the other day realising that this came out quite a long time ago now. And when this came out, Songs in the Key of Life was as old to me as this album is to people who were my age when this came out. If you can get your heads around that maths. Which made me feel very old, and I was like, oh no, I don't like that. I'm just going to go get my walking cane and just like saunter off into the sunset, moaning about children, how the youth are stupid, and blah blah, and get off my lawn, etc, you know. But hey, this is still a great record. Love it very much. Right, one of my favourite finds in recent times is The All Is One by Motorpsycho. Motorpsycho are one of those bands, much like King Gears and the Lizard Wiz, who basically seem to fart out a record every 3 minutes and just hope for the best. There's a lot of experimentation going on, and my god, I want to show you the inners of this, but this record design is very awkward. It sort of opens up like this, and then opens up like that, and then opens up this way, and then everything falls all over the place, but it's a gorgeous, it is a gorgeous piece, but I am going to drop it. If I try to unfold it in the way it's supposed to be unfolded, I will jettison it to the ground and shatter it into 1,000 pieces, and I don't really want to do that, so you're just going to take my word for it that it's got a really nice design on the vinyl. But this is one of my favourite Motorpsycho records of all time. It's one of my favourite sort of modern prog records. I absolutely adore it. It's so big and so punchy and spacey and interesting and experimental and fascinating in equal measure. It's just, it's a great big rollicking roller coaster of everything I feel is good about modern prog rock. It's so good. It is so perfect and so wonderful that the only thing stopping me from listening to it right now is the fact that I'm rambling to the camera in front of me right now. So I will probably be putting this one after I've finished recording this video and editing it and all that usual jazz. I'll be looking forward to it, so do check this one out. Great album. Right, time for the second double whammy of the night. We've got a double bill of Porcupine Tree with Signify and Closure Continuation. I like this, you know. I love Porcupine Tree. One of my favourite bands, one of the bands that really got me into modern prog, it has to be said. And whilst Closure Continuation isn't my favourite, it was still a pretty solid mid-range album. You know, there's not really anything bad going on about it, but I feel that... No, that's what it is. The thing with Porcupine Tree is that most of the band's discography has a really distinct identity. Every album feels a little bit different to the one that came before it in its own special way. But Closure Continuation just kind of felt like a summary, if that makes any sense. It kind of felt like, yeah, this is everything we've done, and we've sort of like taken little bits from here, there, and everywhere across the entire discography, and sort of just put it into this one album. So it's good, but it's not my favourite, but it was really, really cheap. It was like £20 for this brand new on the white limited edition vinyl, which I can't be bothered fishing out at the moment because I've got two things in my hand, and I will drop things again. Don't want to do that. But good album, not great. But Signify is amazing. I love Signify. This is probably like... Ooh, maybe top 3, if I want to be spicy. I love Signify. I think it is so good. So good. This is one like their experimental era, when they were sort of like dipping their toes into what would become sort of like the quintessential modern Porcupine Tree, with things like In Absentia, Lightbulb Sun, Stupid Dream, Deadwing, all that kind of thing, which are all slight variations on each other, you know. But Signify was really, really, really good. It kind of has that flavour of like Up the Down Stair, that kind of like ambient experimental feel, but also while bringing in the darkness, the heaviness, the sort of like sinister vibes you get from the likes of Fear of a Blank Planet and Deadwing. And I think it just is a really, really good marriage of a lot of different things going on. And it's a drastically underrated Porcupine Tree album. I love it very, very much. I might very well be doing a Porcupine Tree ranking at some point in the future. I don't know, maybe. But this one, spoilers, is going to rank quite high because I love it. Oh, hey, look, it's Stephen Wilson again, except in this time, it's POG form. Oh, wait, it's not in POG form, it's in record form. And it's the Record Store Day one, the Harmonic Divergence. This is what I queued up at stupid o'clock in the morning for on Record Store Day. On 4:20, while some of you were doing other activities, I'm sure, I was standing in the freezing cold for like 4 hours to get this. And it's fine. It's okay. It's good. I don't know if it was worth standing in the freezing cold for 4 hours for, but I did it anyway. I don't know, you know, I mean, I can never resist a limited edition. And it's fine, you know, it's got some interesting different mixes and versions of what you heard on the Harmony Codex. Like, for me, where is it? Which one is it? The Mogwai remix of the title track I really, really like. I did like the Mannix one of Economies of Scale as well. Very, very good. But for the most part, it's more about it's more a curiosity than something I would really repeatedly listen to. But I went out, I bought it, I made some cool friends in the queue. That was fun. That was nice. Got to talk about, you know, records and stuff while waiting, so it wasn't so bad. But yeah, I don't know whether I'd really. I don't know. It's worth a curiosity spin, but honestly, you're better off just listening to the Harmony Codex. It is what it is, you know. Okay, continuing the vibe of records I purchased from this year, it is Vermilion Sky by Scray Codeland. Now, I still love this album. I once again gave this one a very positive review back in the day, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. This is such a strange one to me, because it was like, this random band just emails me and says, hey, we think you might like our record, do you want to review it? And I'm getting more of these, actually, by the way. I am getting more of these, and I promise you, if you have sent me something in, like, to my business email, I don't like using the business email, like the channel email, we'll call it that, we'll call it the channel email, not the business email. You sound like such a... yeah. If you have sent me something, like, if you have sent an inquiry, I'm not ignoring you. I promise to God, I do not ignore anything that's sent to me. I listen to everything. Every single thing that somebody tells me. But I'm one man. I don't have that much free time to just, like, give everything its dues. But rest assured, even if you haven't heard back from me, I've listened to it and I've probably liked it, you know, because y'all are just so talented, and I'm just this guy, you know. But The Million Sky by Grey Codeland really struck a chord with me when I listened to it, which is weird for me because I'm not normally a huge one for stoner rock, that kind of thing. But something about this one was very special to me. Something about it really, really hit. Something about the riffs, the tone, the feel, just everything about it was wonderful. But what really confused me when I bought this one is, okay, so red, yellows, warm tones, everything, you know, reds, yellows, warm tones, everything. So I have to beg the question, why is the vinyl bright blue? It's just confusing. But, you know, whatever, it's fine. I'm pretty sure I didn't read the description when I pressed the buy button. Maybe there's different colours out there. I don't know. However you want to spin it, great record. Absolutely wonderful. Probably going to feature reasonably high my end of the year list unless something else similar to it comes along and goes, we can do that but better, but who knows what the future will hold. But still, great record. Speaking of great records, here's another one. It's Slift's Ilion, a record so great I have it both on CD and vinyl this year because I really like this one. Oh my god, I love this record so much. It's absolutely just incredible. You've got the scary gas mask man here. And I think this is on like a... Oh yeah, look at this, look at this. There you go, there's a record that looks like it's album art, you know? Love that. Very nice. This is a big one. It's very huge, it's very sweeping, it's very sci-fi and like... kind of thing. It's like... It's not an official term, by the way. You don't put that on the album art, but... I think this is probably an example of one of those records that sounds how the album art looks, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but something about this record feels like you can just look at this album art and have an idea as to what you're going to hear. But I love this album. I love this album. It's so long and so dense and so ridiculously overcomplicated in places, but oh, it's fun. I just like to just turn the lights off, drop the needle, and just proceed into outer space. Like, woo, you know, this is the vibe that this album gives me. It's so good. I absolutely love it. Once again, probably going to be somewhere quite high in my year-end list, because I just can't stop listening to it. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Right, 2 more to go. I've bought like 19 records these past couple of months, so yeah, we're nearly at the end. One that I picked up today is the Galactic Quarantine album by Devin Townsend. Once again, I got a really, really good price on this. This is like a double LP live album, but I only paid like £20 for it. It's got a great little gatefold going on. Really, really cool record. Quite an interesting set list, quite a metal-focused set list for Devin Townsend work. You know, because obviously he's got quite an extensive catalogue, he's got quite a varied catalogue in terms of style, musicality, genre, blah, 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 blah. But this one very much kind of stuck to the metal side of things. But as is always expected with a Devin Townsend live album, he sounds incredible. Every single thing he does on here sounds great. And what I like about Devin on his live records compared to the studio recordings is he always adds enough of a differential inflection to how he performs to make each live version worth listening to as well as the studio version, you know. Something about the way he sort of enunciates the lines on this really sticks in my mind. It's so, so good. And that's the sort of magic you can only really get from like a live album. It's that little lightning in the bottle thing, which is why I love live music so much. And especially why I love Devin's live music so much, because he's so freaking good at it, you know. But it's a great little set list. I'll give you a quick look of the set list there, to show you what sort of stuff he actually did here. So like, ooh, look at me, I'm like Two-Face. Dork. Yeah, great one. Listened to this earlier. Absolutely phenomenal. Wonderful piece of stuff. But yeah, last but certainly by no means least, falling from one live album to another, it's Yes Songs. Oh, baby, it's Yes Songs. Oh, yeah. Now, if I was to ever do like a ranking of greatest live albums ever, I'm pretty sure Yes Songs would probably be at the top. At least, you know, very close to the top, at least. You know, if not actually at the top, then very close to the top. You know, not close to the edge. This is a great record. Absolutely wonderful. The set list is incredible. The performances are amazing. I love that we have the addition of excerpts from the Six Wives of Henry VIII, because that's so good. I love hearing that in the context of a Yes concert. Oh my god. And to have, I mean, look at this, right? You open with the Suite from Firebird, you know, amazing. Then Strangely Siberian Cut Through. Heart of the Sunrise, and then we move on later on. We've got, like, you know, the whole thing. I've Seen All Good People, then you've got Close to the Edge, Yours Is No Disgrace, Starship Trooper. It's like, oh my god, could you just have a more stacked set list if you tried? This is like a who's who of the greatest of Yes in one package. It's so good. Again, though, Yes were nearly one of those bands that I put on my I don't get them list, but their classic era from, like, early days up until, I don't know, where's my cut-off point for Yes? Relayer, I want to say? If I'm getting my chronological thing with the albums right in my head, is it Tormato that comes after Relayer? I think. Basically, everything prior to Tormato I kind of really, really love, and everything after that I was a bit mid on up until, like, recently. So, Yes, do still avoid the stigma of being one of those bands I just don't get, because I do get Yes. It's just that there are parts of Yes that I don't like, but there's a lot more of Yes that I do like, so yeah, hooray for Yes, I guess. But no, 100%, one of the best live albums ever made. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant, wonderful, wonderful record. And that's it. That's everything I've purchased since February through to now. So that's March, April, May. 3 months. Oh, yeah. 3 months. 19 records cost 3 months. Yeah, pretty pleased with the stuff that I've been picking up. So guys, there we have it. As always, thank you so very much for watching. If you did make it this far, mucho love to you. We are nearly at monetization levels. So yeah, I reckon maybe a couple more videos and we'll get there, which will be very exciting. Then I can look forward to receiving like £1.52 in my bank account every month. So can't wait for that. Yay, let's go. Ah, I joke, of course, guys. I don't do this for the money. I do this for the love. For the love. Oh. So, of course, guys, it goes without saying, until next time, keep your rhyme signatures pretty odd.